was that?
Who encounter this beast during their time there. And then over the years, it's a lot of times people who are, again, alone, either on an isolated road or in the woods. Their encounters are very similar, though. They do talk about this beast coming out of the woods. It is very agile. It jumps in front of their car or in front of them. It scratches at their houses or their tents. So the encounters, as described, are very, very similar in that way.
And do people report being afraid or just sort of surprised and confused?
Afraid, very afraid. There have been reports, as any good story goes, that people have been scared to death by the sightings of the dogman. There have been quite a few of those, especially earlier on. And then the more recent encounters are just people who are afraid and also very confused at what they think they're seeing.
So the phone has just turned into SOS mode, which basically means that the network provider has realised that I'm in a location that is quite remote and the signal here is very limited, if there's any signal at all. So it's always very telling when the phone does that, because it hits home that bit more about where you are. And when you're driving through this forest drive like this, with nothing but trees at either side of you, for as far as the eye can see, it really makes it more real, and it excites me. That's what I like. I like to be in these areas where I feel cut off. I like to be in these areas where I feel like it's going to be left down to my own devices, whether this turns out a good trip or a bad trip. It's a very dark and dreary day today. It's been weird. The weather's been on and off, like from 1 hour to the next. 1 minute it looks like the sun's going to break through and we're going to have a glorious day. The next it looks like the start of a horror film. And I think that's kind of the transition that we're in now. I'm just making my way into the woods. The plan for tonight is to get the tarp set up, get laid under the tarp and spend the night here listening out. I brought the EMF reader with me. I know that a lot of you like to see me out in these locations using that EMF reader. So that's out with me tonight, and hopefully we can get a few goes on that recorded on camera. I have no specific location that I'm heading towards right now. I'm just trying to make my way to a location that I've been before. This is where we spoke about the dogman sighting. If you go back to my videos, there was a very interesting case that came from here regarding a mountain bike rider building a trail that cut through the woods. And while staying over late one night, he was pretty much harassed and then eventually chased out of the woods by something on 2 feet. A lot of myths surrounding that story as to whether it's true or not, but I don't think that really matters when you're in this location on your own. The fact that the story emerged at all is enough to scare anybody. You guys kick back, relax, and enjoy. I don't know if a dogman exists, just in the same way that I don't know if a Bigfoot exists. What I do know is that other life forms are without any doubt stepping foot onto this planet. How do I know? Because I've experienced this firsthand. They're real. The question is, how many are there? And what is their intentions? Lily, up. Lily. Go on. She's picked up on some kind of a scent. She's trying to mask her own smell with whatever that is on the floor. So we have two choices right now. I've come to kind of like a junction. I could either make my way through here or I can come this way. I think I'm going to go this way just because the path looks wider, and I'm hoping that at some point down that path the ground will get much more even, especially with having the tarp. Here comes Lily now running through like an idiot. But yeah, I think I'll choose this way. I'll walk maybe 100 meters this way, and if the ground doesn't level out, I'll maybe come back and take this route. But it's a great night for being out exploring. There's hardly anybody in the national park at this point. When I came in the car, there was maybe only like 2 or 3 other cars parked up in the car park, and usually this place is really, really busy. But for some reason today, I'm not sure if it's because it's a weekday, but yeah, it's dead. There's no one around, and that's why I'm letting Lily run freely at the minute. I mean, she usually does run freely when we're in this place. It's that big, but yeah, it's a great night. It's absolutely, the lighting's great. There's no wind. There's something up in the tree there, just there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna go have a walk over and see what that is. It could be nothing. It's probably a part of the tree, but it just stands out. Whoa. Well, you can see, guys, the terrain in this part of the woods is quite treacherous. Like, this stuff might look like it's solid and you can put your foot on there, but you step on that and you might find that you go knee deep, because the floor level isn't actually what you're looking at there. That's years and years of fallen debris stacked up on top of each other. So to you it might look like solid ground, but the minute you put your foot in it, like I said, you can sink right past your knees. So you've got to be very, very careful. Like this. What is that in the tree? Can you believe this? It's another balloon. It's another party balloon. What is the chances of me finding this? That's 2 videos in the middle of nowhere in 2 balloons. Somebody actually left a comment on the last video regarding the balloon, saying that there's some kind of significance to that and that it's been documented in other documentaries. So if you was the person that left me that comment, please do drop below and bring everyone up to speed with what it was that you found out, because I'm also interested in the significance behind that. So I was on Facebook yesterday. I'm not sure what group this was in. I do occasionally go on Facebook and check up on some of these groups, these related groups like cryptids and UFOs, etc. But there was one that came up on my newsfeed, and basically there was a guy there that had said, do you actually believe that Bigfoots are in the UK? There's not enough land here. I'm not sure he said it like that. Like, I'm not saying that he was being out of character or cocky or anything like that. I'm just saying that that is what he said. And it made me think, a lot of you guys here on the channel, you know my beliefs. I believe that there's got to be some kind of supernatural element to these things where they're able to slip in and out of these different dimensions. I don't think they're here full time. I don't think that they're flesh and blood in the sense that we understand flesh and blood. But anyway, this comment that said, do you actually believe that there's Bigfoot creatures here in the UK? There's not enough land. And then he went on to say, in the US, yes, possibly, but not here in the UK. And it made me think, because you can flip that. You can flip that scenario. Yes, the UK is quite a small island in comparison to the US. And yes, there are animals that live in the US that couldn't survive here because of the landmass. But there's also animals and creatures here that live in the UK on such this tiny island that can't live in the US. So you'll find animals and things here in the UK that don't live in the US, that don't belong to the US. And so yeah, you can literally just flip what that guy said. Although the landmass here isn't as big as America, it doesn't have to be. nature is so diverse that you'll find species in one country that's massive and you won't find it in another one that's tiny. But on that tiny island or tiny country, you'll find species there that you won't find in the larger one. I don't think that landmass is a huge factor. I really don't. Yeah, I've just come to this clearing now. There's 3 different ways that I can go. There's right, straight forward, or left. I'm going to make a quick decision and then get back on with the filming because I'm really in the zone at the minute and I'm enjoying it. There's just something weird about tonight. The atmosphere feels great. It feels nice to be here. Deadly quiet. But it feels nice. I can't wait to get the tarp set up. I think I've left the house at the right time. Sometimes I set off too early and I burn myself out. Tonight I've left it a bit later, but not too late that it's dark and I can't get much filming done. So yeah, I think that's why I'm on a high right now, is that I've timed it perfectly. So this is something that I've really been showing an interest in lately. I've not spoke to you guys about this, but it's been secretly there in the back of my mind and I think I might be onto something. You remember a few videos back when I videoed those 5 snapped trees, all roughly at the same height down the trunk? A few days ago I saw a YouTube video of another guy that gets out hunting for cryptids and he found exactly the same scenario.
So we're out on a scout today, out in the woods, undisclosed location for safety reasons. And here's things that always make you like scratch your head. Like, how does that get broken along with that one right there and that one down there and that one there? We don't get a lot of snow up here where we're at. The winds do get a little crazy, but all 3 of these, 4 are broken. Just makes me wonder.
It's always trees like this, just let me show you. You can see it's bent completely. And so is this one here. And the one at the back there as well. But the guy that was out in the US, I think, he filmed the same scenario. 3 trees, all snapped at relatively the same height up the trunk, all facing the same way, with no other trees damaged in the immediate area. The chances of that happening through machinery would be very slim. Or snow, even. It would be very slim. 3 trees bent over, all facing the same direction, with no immediate damage in the surrounding area. If you see this, I want to know, so please, please, please comment below that you've seen this, or send me some pictures in to 401files@gmail.com. That was quite hard going. Been walking for about 15-20 minutes now, but the footing all the way through that woods was not solid, so been falling all over and stumbling. Takes it out of you. As you can see behind me now, the sun is going down and it's turning into what is a beautiful night. There's a bit of blue sky appearing through the clouds above me, and the wind isn't too bad either, so all in all it's set to be a really good night. I'm still trying to find somewhere to set up the tarp with a bit of even ground so I can sit down and talk to you guys as we absorb the night. But what I'm thinking now is that maybe I should just find like an old logging route and sit on the track, you know, a route that's not been used for a while, like this one behind me, and sit out under the tarp tonight and just listen, because I think that that's going to be our best bet. the forest floor at the minute, because we've had a few days rain, is really sodden, and I don't want to be sat. I mean, I have got a tarp as well, like a second tarp to lay down on the floor, but it's just so uneven. I would prefer to be sitting on some even ground while I'm sitting this one out talking to you guys. I'm not sure where Lily is. She was behind me a while back, but she's off doing her own thing. I'm sure she'll turn up again. Right, best make a move. Best get looking for somewhere to get this tarp set up. And then I'm going to get some food on and a hot drink as well. So you guys, as always, like I say, kick back and continue to enjoy the rest of this video.
I want you to imagine very briefly that you are the proud owner of a beautiful garden. And every day your garden receives an abundance of sunshine and oxygen. In your garden is a wide variety of different plants, wildlife and fauna. And then one day you wake up and you find out that your garden isn't the only one. There are many, many, many more gardens just like yours, all receiving the same amount of sunshine and the same amount of oxygen. But for some reason I tell you that your garden is unique in the fact that it's the only one that harbours life. Would you have a hard time believing that? This is where my head's at when I try to envision life elsewhere in the universe. There are many different planets, if not millions, out there that all have the same conditions as we do here on Earth. What would the chances be that we're the only ones that harbour life?
What in the Harry and the Hendersons is this? Well, that's a cool find. It goes right back off into the distance. I'm going to check this out a bit more. I hope there's no one around because there's a few buildings here. So I hope there's nobody going to jump out and be like, "What are you doing?" Because that will really scare me. Looks like some kind of a paintballing arena. I didn't know that Dalby had a paintballing arena. Fuck, that scared the shit out of me. Whew. Let me zoom in, show you guys this. I'm gonna head over there in a minute. That is freaky. I hope there's no one in those buildings. I've lost Lily. That is creepy. Clearly archery. I never knew this stuff existed. So weird. I guess if someone does pop out now, I've got an excuse. And that is that I'm looking for my dog. Which technically isn't a lie. That's a climb under here. Lily, come! Lily, come! It's always eerie when you're in a place where usually through the day would be busy, chaotic, noisy, and then you come like after hours and there's literally no one around. It's always got an eerier feeling. I don't know why that is. Is that because of some of the energies left behind still resonating in this area? I really don't know, but it definitely feels eerier. I mean, it's like if you imagine being locked in a supermarket overnight. Like through the day, there's no reason for you to be scared, like afraid of a supermarket. You wouldn't even think of it as a scary place. But if you're locked in there overnight on your own, it would be a terrifying situation. Lily, come! Whoa, that's creepy as well. Girl, you found your way back. What is this place, Lil? What is this place, Lil? What is this place? I don't think we can get through there, Lil. We have to go around. What is the significance of body parts? Like, I found a leg and a shoe, and the hell was that? I found a leg and a shoe, and now what looks like some trousers. This way, Lil. Lily, I don't want to get separated. There's too many nets. I'm here. Come here, Lil. This way. Good girl. Well, this is a new experience. It just shows you though, doesn't it? Like, I've been coming to this woods all my life. All my life. I never knew this place existed. I just had no idea. This must be like a capture the castle type game. Every now and then when Lily disappears, I just hear her galloping up behind me and it scares me. I'm sure she gets kicks out of doing that. Would be pretty awesome if we could have something like this in the heart of the forest, like a tower. Can I get up that tower? Is that what it's meant for? There's no ladders. Is that Predator? Not Predator. Alien, like out of the franchise movies, Aliens. It really is, that's so cool. And there is Predator. And an orange skull. Seems to be like the in theme. That is not something you want to see walking through the woods. Yeah, I'm a little bit more freaked out now. I know that the theme here is Aliens and Predator. Oh, cool. There's paintballing masks. But the weird thing is it can't be paintballing because there's no paintball splatters anywhere. Like, I've not seen one burst paintball. Like, usually when you go to a paintballing place, there is paint. I mean, look at the masks. They're pretty much clean. I mean, there is that splat on top, but I think that's been purposely put there to show what team this person's on. I mean, look at the ground. There's no pellets or burst paintballs, which is usually what you see. It just looks like it's been abandoned. Why would they leave all this stuff lying around? Yeah, I think the markings on top of the helmet are definitely painted on to mark the teams. So even that's not paint as such. Well, what is this place then? If it's not paintball, it's not even airsoft. There's no white pellets like from airsoft either. So I'm walking around what looks like an abandoned game that had the theme of Aliens and Predator, and it literally just does look like they've upped and left in a hurry, because who leaves all the paintballing equipment out like this? They're just everywhere. Can you imagine if there was some kind of like conspiracy that these people playing here one day were just wiped out and it's all been brushed under the carpet and no one talks about it, where these people have gone missing to? Because it does seem weird that everything is just left lying around, like they left in a hurry or they was taken in a hurry. I'm not trying to build a story out of nothing here. I'm just saying that is a freaky scenario. I've been to paintballing before, and usually they have strict rules that you've got to hand everything in at the end, and any unused paintballs go into like a tub or something like that. Well, there's no paintballs here at all. I've not found one burst paintball. What's this? Yeah, this is a weird one for sure, guys. I think Lily's stuck behind one of the nets over there. Can she find her way through? She's done it. This way, Lil. Good girl. You add this with the fact that Lily was trying to mask her scent with something on the floor. I don't know, it's just a bit creepy to me. Just a bit creepy. Nothing makes sense. One, I've never heard about this place, ever. I've never heard about this place, like where people go paintballing in Dolby Forest. I've just never heard of that. Maybe it is a thing, maybe it's true, maybe it does exist, but why have I never heard about it? Why is it not promoted more? Why is there not flyers all around the towns and cities promoting this? Second thing, not one burst paintball. Look at the floor. Look how clean this is. This is the heart of what would have been a combat site. You can imagine everyone hiding behind the tyres, in the towers, unleashing hell, but there's not one burst paintball or one airsoft pellet. So, third of all, the crap lied everywhere. Like, why would people just throw important and possibly expensive bits of kit just on the floor anywhere they want? It doesn't make sense. And then, last but not least, the fact that it's Aliens versus Predator, which is a common thing. I've seen that theme before in paintballing, but here of all places, Dolby Forest, and it just looks like people have upped and left at the drop of a hat with no one around, no evidence that a game ever existed. I mean, look at this tower. Not one splat of paint on there. Not one. I don't even think that that's paint. Well, that is paint, but what? It's not like, I don't know, look how clean that is. Guys that have been paintballing, you'll know what I'm saying. When you go to places like this, it's caked in splat marks. This fence is completely clean. There's maybe there's two rounds that have been fired at this whole entire fence. 3, if we include that one there. Now 3 rounds in the whole of this area. And if we count all the hats that are lying around on the floor, there was more than 3 people playing, that's for sure. So what stopped the game so suddenly? I don't understand. I really do not understand. But anyway, I'm gonna try and get out of this area and make my way back. So I'm just still walking through this abandoned activity area, and I'm thinking about just staying here, like not even putting the tarp up, just staying in one of these huts. There's one there that's got a bit of a roof on it behind me. I mean, and this one here. If it rains, I'm gonna get wet because there's holes in the roof, but yeah, it's definitely creepy. Creepy. This would be alright, I guess. Like, the roofs don't seem too bad. Or do I push back in the forest away from this area? I'm not actually sure what to do at this point. I wish I could talk to you guys in live time. Do I stay? Do I go? Do you know what else is weird? Not one CCTV camera. Not one. Not even on the hut that was... Whew, that scared me. Let me just zoom into this so you guys can see what I've just seen. I'm guessing it's some kind of a tree with the shape of shoulders and a head, but when you're walking pretty fast, it caught me off guard. That just looked like a guy standing in the shadows. Do you not think? Like the head, how the shoulders fall down. If it is, they're standing very, very still. It's getting dark as well now. Yeah, sorry, that's what I was saying before I pressed stop by accident on the video, is that not one CCTV camera, not one, not even on the huts that, you know, look like people would gather to pay and use this facility, nothing. Usually you would see cameras, I'm pretty sure of that, but nope, nothing. This looks like it's getting creepier by the second. This forest that is shrouded in cryptid stories, UFOs and extraterrestrials, the paranormal, you name it, everything has been reported by someone at some point from this forest, from this national park. What an amazing story that would make. This paintballing activity centre that nobody knows about was used for a short time before people here were taken out or taken away, and now it's brushed under the carpet. Nobody knows about it because they want to keep this thing under wraps. That would make a very creepy story, because I've certainly never heard of this place, and there's no evidence to suggest that paintballing has taken place here. Everything is abandoned, not one CCTV camera. It just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. There'll be people watching this now that know Dalby Forest well and will not have ever known this place existed, unless they've stumbled upon it like I have, walking through the woods. I'm just trying to decide what to do, whether I should set the tarp up further afield, like walk further into the woods like I was planning on doing originally, or now I found this place, spend the night here. I'm thinking I should spend the night here. It's a creepy old place. Usually these codes, I think generically are just... What the hell? Is that a tree full of game cameras? And I'm talking like a tree full of game cameras. Can anyone make sense of that? Because I can't. Nope. It's okay, Lou. It's okay. Come. Good girl. It's okay. Good girl. It's not real. Go. I can't get the light on. So this is going to be home for the night. One of these. I've decided I think I'm going to stay here rather than set the tarp up. I cannot express to you how creepy this place is. I don't know if it's doing it justice on the video, but I'm absolutely terrified right now. You know, this isn't just like some kind of local attraction with a built-up urban area just in the background. This is in the heart of a woods that's notorious, and I mean notorious, for really, really strange and unexplained reports. A lot of the times outside of YouTube, especially when people catch wind that Ben's into extraterrestrials, oh, have you heard about Ben? Like he's into UFOs and he's got some stories to tell. A lot of people that come over and talk to me, like at parties and family gatherings and things like that, you know, as soon as they find out that I've got a YouTube channel talking about this stuff, everyone wants to pick my brain. And one of the things that people always tend to drag me towards is my belief that extraterrestrials might look human. And what people think is that it's almost impossible, Ben. Why would you even think that? You're thinking from a human perspective. It's astronomical to believe that extraterrestrials could look anything like human. I disagree. Like, I don't think that all extraterrestrials will have, you know, tentacles on their heads, 3 heads, be 7 foot tall, walking around with pale blue or pale green skin. I don't believe that all extraterrestrials will look like that. Why do they have to look so vastly different? I disagree, and I'll explain a bit more as to why. If we had a rocket now and we could go back 200 million years to Mars, at a time when Mars was covered in water, so there was vast oceans there, the likelihood that they're using boats very similar to what we use today would be high. Why? Because that works. Nothing really cuts through water the way that the hull of a ship does, or a boat. That shape, that blueprint for traveling on the oceans works. And so, yeah, if we went back to Mars and we discovered that the people there were traveling on the oceans, it's very likely that their boats, their vehicles to navigate the oceans would look very similar to the boats that we've got, just simply because it works. That shape is, you know, even through trial and error, if they started off with a square or a hexagon, eventually they would, by a process of elimination, find out and discover that that shape of a boat is much better. And that's exactly what we've done. So I have the same mindset when it comes to extraterrestrials looking like humans. It works, you know. Bipedal, upright walking creatures with 2 arms, 2 legs and a head is a great thing, and it's helped us to get where we are today. The fact that we can stand upright, we can climb, we can run across open plains and do many different things because we've got these opposable thumbs and we're bipedal, you know, that's really helped us get to where we are today. And I just think that evolution would have made the decision that this is a great design, let's keep it going. Not to mention the fact that Travis Walton mentioned seeing human-like creatures, Betty and Barney Hill mentioned they saw human-like creatures, and the list is endless of how many abductees out there claim to have seen humans aboard these craft. So if anyone out there ever calls you into question for having that belief that, you know, not all aliens will be green, not all aliens will have tentacles, just explain that to them, that in the end what works is what sticks. I don't think I've been this scared for a very long time. You know, this isn't my usual stomping ground. The wind's picking up as well. Can you guys hear that? Yeah, I am actually really scared right now. And I think it's just the whole day and how the day's panned out. Like, you know, coming across this old looking paintball arena where there's no evidence to suggest that a game's ever been played, and then thinking about where that is, where it's located, right in the middle of Dalby Forest, here in the National Park of the North Yorkshire Moors. This isn't my usual stomping ground as well, so I'm very unfamiliar with the terrain, and it's just extremely creepy. That wind as well, all of a sudden out of nowhere, has just really picked up. Add to that, I'm surrounded by these creepy looking huts. You know, it's definitely got some kind of cabin in the woods feel. No pun intended. I need to reset a little bit, I think, because my brain is just running wild, and there might not actually be anything to be scared of right now. But because my mind is in overdrive and I'm thinking of all the worst case scenarios, I'm just slipping down that big spiral, that big dark spiral of paranoia and freaking myself out. And whenever I get like this, I can feel it happening. I can feel my mind running away from me and imagining up all these horror stories of things that could happen to me. And at that point, it's always good just to take an extra 10-20 minutes to step away from anything that's creepy. Maybe get a coffee on or something like that. Just sit there and play with the dog, anything to get you away from thinking cryptids, extraterrestrials, and missing 411 people. You don't want to do it too much though. Like, it's good to have your instincts about you, like your wits, because if there is anything going to happen that's maybe untoward, you need to be able to respond and react appropriately. But right now I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to take 10-15 minutes just to step away from thinking about the stuff that we've been talking about. This whole environment is not helping that setting, by the way, like I've just said. Creepy. Very, very creepy. I know this is going to sound really like cheesy as well, but the fact that the theme here is aliens and alien versus predator, that's playing on my mind. Now, why would that play on my mind? You know, it's like a fictitious movie, and this is a paintball arena based off a fictitious movie. But is it? Like, as I'm walking through here now and I'm dodging through all these abandoned, broken down, beat up log cabins, and I'm dodging in and out between these piles of tires and surrounded by tall trees with the wind blowing through them, you know, you do question everything. Is Predator based on a real extraterrestrial being? I really hope not. You know, we hear a lot about the Glimmer Man and some of the abilities that he has. That resembles heavily what the Predator's capable of. That thing alone terrifies me. I shouldn't even be really talking about that, to be honest, right now here, because that's only going to make matters worse. But the Glimmer Man, wow, that is a terrifying, terrifying phenomenon. If anyone's new to hearing that word, go research that. And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not talking about the movie that was in, like, I think it was the 80s or the 90s or something like that. I'm talking about the cryptid that is able to camouflage itself and almost take on the resemblance of water to surround and submerge itself with the environment. It's such a creepy new thing that's started to be reported over the last few years. Now, is that a new extraterrestrial as well? You know, that's finally made its way. It's been traveling through space for thousands of years. It's finally reached Earth, and that's the only reason that new reports are coming in. You just don't know how these things work. You don't know why reports come in more heavily at one point in time than another. There's so many variables to what people see and how they see it and when they see it. All I know right now is that I'm terrified, because it's difficult on a night time to film and give you guys a true picture of where I am, and because you can't see what I can see, and I can't film both ways, front and back. So I've either got to have my face on camera, or I can hold the camera in front of me. But then you don't see a great deal because it's pitch black in this woods, and the light doesn't shine that far ahead. I'm really freaking out at this point because I'm stood right now in the middle of the arena, literally smack bang, surrounded by broken down cabins and tire walls like this. And I feel very vulnerable because in the center here, the trees open out. So I'm basically stood in the middle of a clearing with deep woods all around me, 360 degrees. Now, if there's anything stood in the wooded area or the wood line, they're going to be able to see me perfectly clear, and I can't see anything, which is triggering my anxiety massively. It's going to be a long night, guys, and I'm going to try and check in with you as much as I can, but trying to keep Lily close by. I don't want her leaving me at any point, and keeping warm as well as filming is going to be difficult, so I'll check in as much as I can, but it might just be a few voiceovers from this point on with B-roll. with footage of the surrounding area. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for sticking this out with me this far. If you have made it this far, please do comment below to let me know. Comment and let me know what you think of this area, what you think's happened in this area. Do you think that this paintball arena is spooky, or am I just overthinking everything? You guys comment below, like, comment and subscribe as well if you haven't. It always helps the channel, and you know, gives me the kick up the arse that I need to get out and keep motivating myself to make these videos. It's all thanks to you guys that I'm here every fortnight. Right, I'm gonna get out of these woods because I think I've just heard someone talk and that's freaking me out. Lily, come. Lily, come.
As the night dragged on into the early hours, I hardly slept a wink. I wasn't the only one though struggling to settle down that night. Lily was also very uneasy, and at times I could sense that she was waiting for me to leave the area. I never heard or experienced anything more that night, but the feeling that I might only intensified as the hours slowly ticked by.